Hello, I would like to present a case study for our cohort. S is an Emirati 11th grade student. He's 16, from a wealthy family, has a brother in the same grade level who has no identified learning disabilities. His mother tongue is Arabic, has had an ILP, has been an ILP student since grade 9. He had an individual learning plan. I did not yet have contacted his parents since it's just the beginning of the year and I'm getting to know him, but his case study is fairly developed. He has undergone a multitude of different tests, and his learning background has been thoroughly analyzed. In 2020, he was identified as an intellectually disabled student. Throughout a range of different tests, many different learning disabilities were identified. He has issues with working memory tasks that involve concentration and mental control. He showed weaknesses in verbal comprehension, visual spatial comprehension, and processing speed. His struggles, other tests showed that he struggles in the area of oral and written expression, and some psychological assessment indicated that he might struggle with anxiety. Recalling phrases can be challenging for S. His writing speed is low. He does strive to do well at school and does sometimes worry about his performance. His executive functioning skills are compromised by his underdeveloped speed and language skills. Here is some extensive data gathered through map testing that shows that he's either significantly below or below his grade level expectations. As you can see, the highest reading score he has ever gotten, is 209. His math is one of his strongest. There are some of the strengths that S has is logical thinking. It is age appropriate. His performance and working memory skills are relatively strong. He has a desire to perform well, so his drive is there and his motivation is there. He remains, despite all the identified disabilities and areas to focus, is social. He has friends. He has a peer circle where he feels endorsed. Some of the areas that S could use help with are general cognitive functioning, verbal comprehension, visual spatial skills, working memory, reading comprehension, processing speed, phonological processing, writing skills, especially with compound sentences, basic math skills, speech and language, and anxiety. During our VC, I would like to collect your ideas on the Jamboard, so it will be saved and accessible later on. For now, I can report that fairly detailed accommodations have been applied to support S and his performance, as well as his self-esteem, academic and social. He has been offered 25 to 50% extra time for assignments and tests. A co-teacher visits multiple classrooms throughout the year to facilitate and support S in his learning process. His reading material is adjusted and differentiated to match his Lexile level. Lots of vocabulary activities are also offered for him to build better understanding. He is offered frequent, immediate, and specific feedback, extra feedback from all teachers. The focus is on creating scaffolding tasks for him, dividing the content that he receives in chunks, and so forth. So next steps in accommodating S in reading have been identified, such as reduced lexile, extend time, read out loud on request, provide audio files to, if necessary, checks for understanding, use of highlighters since he reports to be visual, use of sight words charts, and access to varied vocabulary terms, so glossaries and so forth. As you can see, the SMART goal for him is to be able to meet 70% of to be able to answer 70% of questions based on text of his ability level. And it's required that he will be able to perform the 70% correct questions answering in 3 out of 4 formally observed trials. In writing, accommodations provided for him include graphic organizers, extended time, explicit instruction, chunking, and frequent understanding checks. In his behavior, also similar activities are proposed and aimed at meeting his SMART goal, which is approach to learning, self-management standards that are being used to enforce proper work habits among students. Well, I hope we in our cohort will be able to brainstorm a few more ideas that could be useful for us to ensure that he's successfully growing at his own pace and accomplishes his own learning objectives.